Hi friends. So today I want to talk about the last days and what do we know about the last days. Some people, I have friends who tell me we are not in the last days, and then I have other friends who tell me yes, we are. Most people look at Matthew 24 to determine if we are in the last days. So today I will touch base a little bit on that, and then also I have there was a video that was made by a man who had, I believe he was collecting different prophecies, and he said that war will start in America soon. And he just how he explains different things, it just kind of really mind shattering, I guess. So I'm gonna touch base on that a bit, and then we'll just kind of talk about Matthew 24. And then if you decide you want to share your thoughts about are we in the last days or are we not, let me know in the comments below, because I do love to know what my viewers are thinking and what your points of views are. So let's jump in. So I do have this very interesting, maybe some kind of website. It's called Names, sacrednamebible.com, and it just has a Greek version of the Bible, and down below it talks in English. So if you read chapter 24, verse 6, he says, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all those things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So like we all know, everyone have heard we have heard of wars and rumors of wars. Today we don't even have to hear rumors. We actually hear real wars are going on these days. Everyone knows about Ukraine, there's Russia, there's everything going on, there's China, there's the Syria, there's other countries are very, there's that, and we're living in the times of very high, people are not friendly these days. They're not peaceful. They want to fight for their land. They want to, they don't care about their neighbors. There's very high percentage of something in the air, like an evil spirit that triggers people to hate each other, to start wars, to hate the neighbor, to hate, even in families it's happening. There is a video that I made earlier this year. It's called The Two Evil Spirits That Are Coming Out, the spirit of war and the spirit of famine. And the spirit of war is here to take away the peace from the earth. And when he takes away the peace, you know what's happening. There's all kinds of commotion, all kinds of war. So verse 6, it's actually coming true in Matthew 24. Also it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine, pestilences, earthquakes, and diverse places. So, and that's happening as well. For nations are rising against nations, and kingdom against kingdom, and it's on the horizon. There should be, there's different stories that people say, there's different prophecies that people talk about. And like this man I was talking about, he collected different prophecies that show that there will be war in America soon. So it's just very troubling times, I guess. So I guess when we start hearing about wars, and like we were hearing early this year, the war in Ukraine has started in February. It's the beginning of sorrows. There also, like it says, I think it later in this chapter, it says, the sorrow will be so great that it was never like this before. And since it's the beginning, it's everything that we hear these days is just starting. It's not completely in it. And then it says, then we shall deliver you to be afflicted, and they shall kill you, and they should hate you, all nations in my name's sake. Nobody really wants to be persecuted. Nobody wants to be hated. So those things, I know in some countries it's already happening, and hopefully we have prophecies that it will happen here in America too. And then many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because of iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall grow cold. And that's really sad, because really, truly, when the peace of God is raised up from the earth, it shows that love goes away too. There's like hardly any love. It's just so much iniquity that people are truly are getting cold. They don't want to feel. They don't want to be in debt to anyone, really. Then in verse 21 it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And the verse before it, on verse 20, it says, but pray ye that your flight be not in winter, neither on the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day, of course, it's a holiday. We do not want to travel on this day, which I still don't really understand why God would say, don't make sure your flight is on this day. Maybe He doesn't want people to, because maybe people are not prepared. They're in church, they're just praying, they're not prepared to do anything. But in winter, it says pray that it will not happen in winter. And everybody knows that winter is starting. Well, it will happen soon. And there's many prophecies, and there's many different scenarios that are being raised about having a very hard winter. So I'm not sure if this will be the winter that everything will happen. Maybe not. Maybe it will still be spared and everything will be fine. I think I told you the story about a church that they were praying, and God told them, pray, the winter will be awful. It will be very, very bad. And the church members started praying, and the winter was very good. There was nothing, no snow, no rain. It was very, very mild winter. So the next year, before winter started, they had a word from God again. Pray for winter. It will be very, very hard. So only half of the church prayed, because the other half decided, it did not happen last year. We were fine, so we're fine this year. So only half of people prayed, and the winter was very mild. The next year, the third year, God told them another word. Pray for winter. It will be very, very hard. And no one showed up to the prayer meeting. They all decided, well, the past 2 years it was very mild winter, so I don't think God was telling it to us. And nobody prayed that winter, and the winter was very, very hard. Everything froze. They couldn't drive. It was the pipes broke loose. The cars got frozen. They got snowed in, and even a whole bunch of people died this winter. So they got their understanding that when God tells you something and you do not pray, it may happen. But if you do pray, God will push it back, or He will delete and it will not happen. So praying is always the best idea to do. So like this man, I would just want to talk about what he said. He said that there was some kind of prophecy that there will be some kind of water bomb thrown into the in the ocean, and it will trigger a huge tsunami on each coast. So it's like on the west coast and the east coast. I'm not sure the same time or different times, but he said it was the bombs will come in, they will be underwater, it will trigger like an earthquake, like a tsunami, and a lot of buildings, a lot of cities will go underwater. And when that happens, he said there'll be a lot of people running. They won't know where to go because their homes will be underwater. There'll be a huge devastation. People will not know what to do. And since it will happen so quickly and so suddenly, people will feel unprotected. They will panic. They will do things that are not very brave or very smart. So in his video, he was talking about a prophecy that he had and his church members had. So specifically, it said that there will be bombs thrown in, and it will start a third world war, and a lot of countries will be involved, but not all of them. He says mostly this will be America, Russia, Europe, and Germany for sure, and then I believe China, but I'm not really sure specifically. But God told him it will happen possibly this fall or winter. He hasn't said this specific fall, and he even said it twice. I'm not sure which fall, when it will happen, but God said fall, winter. So I know a lot of people also in my church, they also had visions and dreams about war starting in the winter time, fall and winter time. So you never know. I guess it's a kind of period that in the Bible it says pray that it will not happen in the winter, but it's like somehow it's all connected. He said when those torpedoes will hit, a huge tsunami will come. It will cover lots of cities. It will destroy lots of cities. A lot of people will be homeless. There will be a huge, people will be moving from cities, from different states. But when that happens, the economy in America will fall and people will be without money. They will be devastated. There'll be nothing they can do. The infrastructure will be broken down. The economy will be broken down. There will be food supply, and everything will be broken down. There'll be just crazy chaos going around at that time, specific time, and at that time, many people will die. Many people will not die from the actual the destruction and devastation, but many people will die because they'll be running for their lives, and there'll be a lot of disorder. There'll be a lot of people looking for food. There'll be a lot of people just doing their own thing. There won't be any police officers because America will go into war with, I believe, Russia, Europe. I'm not sure exactly where or how, but he said it will enlist a lot of men from this country to fight for this war. And so it said in his dream or his prophecy that he said God has said this 10 years ago, and now he's like warning, this is it, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Prepare now. Like there's like no more time. So he said a lot of people will die after the fact. After this war will go on, it will go on for a few years, according to him. And the war in Ukraine, it's the beginning of this third war. So when this happened in this year in February, so now it's starting. I'm not sure if it will actually come this winter, the rest of it, or later on this into January, into next year. So in his prophecy, he says a lot of people will be devastated. The the country will be closed. Nobody will be able to move or go anywhere, and the roads will be blocked off. People will not be able to go anywhere. But he said some states will still kind of keep organized organized law. I guess it will still be very livable. People will still have things here in the states that God will be like refuge cities, that are refuge states. Which are those states? I'm not sure, but I'm sure if you are really concerned, if, especially if you live on the West Coast or the East Coast, and those are the places that will get hit, that will get destroyed, um, I would start praying to see if God will tell you to move to a safer ground. There will be places of refuge in America, and he said a lot of people, a lot of Christian people, will even move to South America at that time. After that happens, after the war, so I don't know how many years, a year or two or three, I'm not sure how long the war will last, but he said a huge famine will hit the land, and it will be all over the world. And more people will die from this famine than people will die from this war. So how it will actually be, I'm not really sure. I'm just how he showed in his video. He had like prophecy in his church, and he had different dreams, and a lot of people from his church had the same warning. And so it's just very scary for us as Christians to know what is coming. God warns us, so that's the best time to pray, to fast and pray. When you fast and pray, God will tell you what to do. Then you are not scared. Then you're not afraid for your life or for your loved ones. So pray to God. Don't be scared. Do not be afraid. Just know that God does prepare his people. He does tell people that something will happen. Get ready. And then if everyone prays at the same time, he may extend the time of peace, and it will not happen right away, but or he will keep you in a safe place, in a safety or in refuge city, and then you'll just hear a rumor of war, but you will not see it yourself. So stay well, my friends. Hopefully, this will trigger more prayers in your life. This will trigger more fasting, more God seeking, more Bible seeking, just reading the Bible every day. It's so important to hear from God, so he would tell you what to do. Like I said, do not be scared, do not be afraid, just pray, and God will lead you where you're supposed to go. Take care, and God bless you.